Hey, Facebook people. This is my first, um, oh, um, not episode, installment of Frankly Tara, where I go live and I don't edit out and I just be frankly me, which most of you know I don't really have a problem with, and it gets me in trouble most of the time. But this is capturing it for the posterity of history because, you know, my videos are that important. So today I do want to talk about something that has been on my mind for the last week or so. Yesterday, my son had his first band competition, which I didn't go to. It's an hour and a half away or 2 hours away in Owasso, Oklahoma, and I'm in Northwest Arkansas. And they did well, and I had to drop him off at the school at 6:30 in the morning, and then I had to pick him up at almost 2 a.m. So it was a long day, and I had to stay here. Well, my husband and his family were celebrating in Warrensburg, which is like 4 hours away from here, my grandmother-in-law's 90th birthday. So he and my daughter were up there with family. I was here all by myself between 6:30 a.m. and 2:30 a.m. I could do whatever I wanted. Whatever I wanted. Which sounds amazing, and most of us are like, oh, I would totally be, and you know exactly what you'd be doing. Well, I have a problem, and that problem is actually sometimes not a problem. It's sometimes really great. I have this, what I'm calling an energy. I could also call it an anxiety, depending on how it affected me, where I feel like time is so incredibly valuable and life is so short that I should be making the most of my time always. And to be honest, this has kind of been pretty consistent. I'm always doing something. If I'm not, then I'm not well. In fact, when I got really sick a couple months ago, I knew I was really sick because I couldn't watch TV and, play a game on my phone. I could only handle like one thing, and at that time I couldn't even play a game on my phone. Like, I had to be watching TV. So I just felt like I always feel like I need to cram as much as I can into my day. And so that requires me to look at things as how valuable are they. Sometimes self-care and sometimes just relaxing is valuable. But sometimes we can also sink into bad habits of doing those valuable self-care things, and they actually aren't self-care. They're self-destructive or self-wasting, maybe. I'm not sure that there's a neutral area. There might be a neutral area. So, for instance, today I sat on the couch with my son, whom I don't get to see very much because of marching band, and he's a teenager now. And I talked to him about the video game he was playing, because there just aren't a whole lot of conversations I can have with him right now. That is one of them. But I sat there, I stayed with him. I didn't do anything. I didn't accomplish much. I did work on the calendar for this next year or next month, but so that was valuable. But yesterday I had tons of time to myself. 12, 6, 18 hours. 18 hours. Some of that time was already committed to spending with a new friend of mine, and we went to Eureka Springs, and I got to experience their monthly drum circle, which is really cool. And of course I got to be with my friend and get to know her a little bit better, and we went to a restaurant, and she's actually a personal chef, so I was, it wasn't intimidating, but it was fun talking food to someone who knows more about food than I do. So that was cool. But then I had all this other time to do whatever I wanted. And I actually started making a list of things that I can do with my time, because it's getting to the point where, building my business, my side hustle, my dream, whatever you want to call that, it takes more effort to intentionally do it. It's not as fun. It's not as easy. It's getting to the work part and the discipline part. And then also, making sure that in the midst of the busy schedule that my family has right now, I'm getting other things done for me, whether it's, hospitality and homemaking type stuff, or art, or, just projects that I want to do or need to do. Well, not need, but, would be beneficial for me to do. So I started that list. But there's this balance that I'm trying to find, where I'm making the most of my time, but I'm also chilling, not being anxious about it. And a lot of that has to do with my just personal health. If I'm physically ill or mentally, drained, or if I'm having issues with the word that means mind and body, physiological issues of anxiety and depression, then I need to, keep an eye on that and not feel obligated to be doing stuff all the time. And then on the other hand, like if I am doing stuff all the time and I feel obligated, it's going to make me feel worse physically and physiologically. So it's kind of a sleep deprived. Those words are hard for me to find today. It's not a domino effect, but it feeds in, it self-perpetuates. But on the other hand, I don't want to waste my time. I don't want to waste the minutes that I have. And that's part of why I plan things out. If you were to see the way that I have to live my life, it's not that I'm OCD, and it's not that I am a perfectionist or super particular or controlling or anything like that. It's that I actually am the opposite. And if I don't structure my life, and if I don't structure my days and weeks and months, then time gets away from me, and I slip into bad habits, which hurts me. Yeah. So anyway, again, sleep deprived. Last night was awful. Ugh. I tried to stay up until he got there, and I was like, okay, I've got to go to sleep. I set my alarm, and I basically drove there and back half awake, and it was awful. Like it maybe would have been better for me to be drunk driving. Just that's how bad it was, and I didn't really have any option. But anyway, so my point. Making the most of my time. I have to schedule it out. It's not because I'm controlling. It's because I know that if I don't, my weakness is what is going to rule, and I can't do that. I can't waste my time. I can't waste my moments with my family and the opportunities to be with other people and feed into them. So this has been the first Frankly Tara. I think maybe it got away from me, but I also think I'm a little cuckoo because I'm sleep deprived. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you some other time. And just to be frank, I don't know how regularly I'm going to do this, but I'm going to try to do it without makeup and without a script and without a major plan. Although, to be honest, I've been thinking about this one for a couple days. So, do you want to know what I did with my day yesterday? I ended up cleaning. I set my timer for 20 minutes to clean, and as I was cleaning, I'm like, you know what, this is working for me. And so I ended up scrubbing my front porch entryway. I only do that once a year because Evie has people over, and the moms that come, I don't want them to see this really gross porch with spiders and spider webs and spider poop and who knows what else. I don't mind it. I actually like having spiders around because they can be very helpful. Oh, and that, by the way, That's a brown paper bag stuffed with Walmart and Target bags, and it's supposed to mimic a wasp nest. And because we were having problems with wasps, and once I put it up, we didn't have problems with wasps anymore up here. So it works, but then later we noticed a wasp was going in and out of it. So it may be that they have built a wasp nest, but I'm too afraid to like knock it down or anything. And no, and a bird built a nest in it at one point too. That was kind of cool. Okay, so for real now, bye.